We're here. I got new audio settings going on today, folks. I want you to let me know if it sounds better or even worse. And I know everything's super low quality right now. Um, I'm working on getting probably a new microphone is going to be the next thing. And from there, if it still sounds really tinny in here, or really reverby or whatever, I'm gonna try adding some diffusers, maybe some bass traps or pads or whatever. What else? What else is going on? Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're staying safe. I hope that you're regulating your information diet, your regular diet, and not just shoving random shit into your mouth or your brain. For me this morning, I got a nice variety of fluids going to my left here. I well, I tried to eat some sausage, but the meat was bad, so I had to spit it out and throw away the kimchi that I was on top of too. So just drank some milk and what did I eat in my fridge? Yogurt. And that yogurt was kind of bad too. It wasn't bad, but it was like soupy. You know what I mean? It wasn't like properly mixed. So I only ate like half of that and then drank some milk and was like, oh man, I feel like I'm hyperglycemic right now, honestly. Um, in the mornings, most people that I talk to say that they have great results with the fasting and with that sort of thing, with, not eating anything in the morning basically until they're like they fast until like the afternoon a lot of times, and for me that's like no bueno. Yeah, I don't like that. It, in the morning, if I don't like I this is actually the biggest thing that I got out of the Jordan Peterson book whenever I read that. Because the thing that he recommends, we got some stuff that we're going to talk about. We got some articles to look at and stuff like that. The thing that he always recommends, right, is that when you wake up in the morning, you should eat a bunch of fats and a bunch of protein. And when I don't do that, by around, let's say I wake up at 6, by around 7:20, maybe a little bit before that, my stomach feels like someone is wringing it out like a towel. And on top of that, like there's other symptoms that I get too, and you can tell, I can tell that my metabolism has basically switched into a different mode, which is what is going on. But for me, like it makes my gag reflex more sensitive. So like if I don't start my day with like some avocado and some egg or some bacon, some sausage, just basically anything high fat, high protein. Uh, like if I'm brushing my teeth or like I try to like swallow a vitamin or something like that, I can't do it. Like it just I don't know, and it makes like my nasal cavity all sensitive and slimy and stuff. So it's something that I did not have any kind of awareness of until I was like 25, like a couple years ago. So it's really frustrating to look back at my childhood and look at some of the stuff that I went through and how very little diligence both my parents and doctors did before, uh, you know, selling drugs and having a kid take them. But yeah, man, it's like, dude, maybe if I would have just figured out when I was a kid, like, oh yeah, I need to eat a high fat, high protein breakfast instead of sugary fucking cereal. Like, no shit. So idiotic, dude. Like our parents, not everyone's parents, but the majority of people my age, our parents were so lazy. It's like, oh, you're inconvenient to me. Like here, take take sugary cereal and Adderall for breakfast. But not today. Today I got variety of fluids. We got classic H2O. We got super coffee. First time trying one of these. I know I said I don't drink coffee too much, but I saw this in the store and was like, whoa, it's got 10 grams of protein up in there. What was that sound? I got the audio of my mic also coming through too, so I can hear what's going on too. Something just moved around me. It freaks me out, dude. And got some coconut water for that potassium, man. Gotta have that potassium. If your feet are cramping up, if your calves are cramping up, if you're having any weird muscle cramps, Probably you need some potassium, and bananas are not a good source of potassium. That's a scam by the banana industry. It's not to say that bananas don't have any potassium, it's just not very bioavailable and there's not very much of it. Coconut water, very bioavailable potassium and quite a bit of it. Mmm. Oh, I love coconut water, dude. It makes you feel so good. Mmm. I don't know if I'm gonna drink any more of this coffee. I'm feeling pretty hyped. Feeling pretty hyped. Uh, Well, what are we going to talk about, you guys, today? Today we're going to be talking about government and technology mostly. I don't know how long this stream is actually going to go for. I have an idea in my head for a shorter video, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, but it's going to require editing and probably more work than I'm used to. By the way, you guys, I do have the chat open over here, so feel free to participate in the chat. If you see any articles that are maybe related to government and technology, or if you see an article about your government that maybe sparks an idea for you that involves technology or technocracies or anything like that, post it in the chat. Maybe with like a little blurb or an explanation if it's not blatantly clear from the first bit of the article what's going on. Just explain your idea behind it. I'll read it. I'll read it all out. I don't give a shit. And yeah, we'll check out the article together. But yeah, I got a few of my own articles pulled up, and yeah, that's mostly what we're gonna be talking about, you guys. I think that basically my view is that the government in the United States, at least, we're gonna be mostly talking about the United States government. We have some stuff abroad that we want to talk about too, but for the most part, this video is gonna be about the United States government and how I believe that they are completely just stuck in the dark ages, man, and they haven't evolved at all, and their model is just based off of tradition. It's based off of dumb monkey brain. We need to have a king. We need to have a court. We need to pay taxes. Da, 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 da. It's like, why are we paying taxes? The government prints money. Like, it's not based on gold or anything anymore. So we're getting burned at both ends as citizens. It's like we're paying taxes, and then our currency's going down in value because we're using a forced fiat currency, which they can make more of. And I know for me, like, I talk about this shit all the time, and um, I know that that's like the guy you don't want to talk to or whatever a lot of times for a lot of people, but I also don't give a shit about those people. Okay, if you're watching this channel and you are one of those people that just floats through life and just kind of accepts whatever paradigm is slopped onto your plate by the powers that be, whether that be your parents if you're a kid, or your teacher if you're a kid, or your peers if you're getting into middle school, or anyone, man, your government if you're an adult, your boss if you're an adult. Like if you're that kind of person, that's the video that's in my head that I want to make for you. Is like it's a 20-minute video. It's gonna be about um all kinds of shit, man. It's gonna be like the red pill, like distilled. We're gonna talk about governments. We're gonna talk about the Fed. Which is the central bank. We're gonna talk about how orphaned government programs are from each other. We're going to talk about how the government has uh, disclassified plans to attack its citizens on multiple occasions. Um, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Basically, like a red pill video. But I'm gonna do my best to like tie in tech, obviously, because this is gonna be a tech related channel. But I believe that technology is the answer to a lot of these questions and a lot of these challenges that we're facing because of our shitty governments. Um, one example, one easy as fuck example. By the way, I'm not even gonna discuss the model of our democracy or republic or whatever the shit it is you want to call it at this point. At this point, I call it a corporate smash and grab. Basically, is what this country has become. But we're not going to really talk about the model. We're gonna assume that we have a clean democracy. Okay, big assumption. But one really easy example of the way that government can use technology is fucking vote online, dude. Vote on the fucking blockchain. What are you guys doing? What are you doing? You don't even do it by mail? You don't even have voting by mail. And it's like people ask like, "Oh, why aren't you more involved? Like, why don't you do more research on your candidates?" It's like, what are you talking about, dude? They're all shit. There's no good candidates for Senate. There's no good candidates for House of Representatives. If there is a good candidate, they get bought out and paid for and stuffed the first term. Okay, that's how it works. Lobbyists come in and they are greedy fucks. They're power hungry. They want money. It's broken, dude. But anyway, we're gonna, move forward with like, yeah, the model's okay. For me, I think that there's so many ways that the government could be using technology that they're not. Like, if you've ever interacted with your government in any way, whether it's like trying to get some social benefits like food stamps or having to go to court, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, why are we pretending that it's the 1800s right now? What in the shit? Like, it makes zero sense. I was talking to my buddy, and he was talking about like how courts, how courts are just based on an archaic model, and it's basically like a kiss the ring model. Maybe my audio sounds back because my input's all the way up. Let's try turning that down. Does that sound better? It says we're at negative 25, so let's just talk normally until we get just below the yellow. Yeah, that looks about good on the meter, I guess. I don't know how it sounds in the stream. I know how it sounds like from the microphone input, I guess. Man, I gotta figure out more of this stuff. Raise the quality on my videos, on my streams. Yeah, yeah, it's really frustrating. I don't see a way for us to revolutionize our government to start leveraging technology with the current model. I think we need to basically throw the whole thing out the window and start again. Like, yeah, I'm very much in favor of let's just run this ship into the closest reef and rebuild a new one. You know what I mean? It's not worth trying to salvage at this point. It's just not. More super coffee? Okay, yeah, that's definitely enough of that. Mm, mm. Let's get into some articles and let's check out what's going on in the crypto world and what's going on in the world of protests and all that kind of bullshit. I was using this flag proportions calculator here for the art piece I was talking about yesterday, which I think I'll actually be able to do sometime today, because the rain looks a lot less likely today. So yeah, that's what I was using that for. Ba, 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 ba. Congress mulls a digital dollar and Fed accounts to speed up COVID stimulus. This is what I've been talking about for a while, you guys. A digital dollar is coming. A digital dollar will be here by the end of this year, is what I believe. Maybe it'll come out tomorrow. Maybe it'll come out, you know, in a month. But I believe that it's very, very close. There's a bunch of different tracks right now, and a bunch of different, basically completely orphaned government programs, and their delegates or their representatives of the programs, or their spokespeople or whatever, their media people, whatever it is you want to call them. Sometimes it's their actual executives, say things that completely contradict what the other program is. So, like, for example, right now we have a hard digital dollar. This is all actually just in the Fed. So this is all in the same branch of government, which I consider the Fed a branch of government. It's an orphan branch of government. It's divorced basically. There is no checks and balance over the Fed. Um, Basically, Congress says, "Hey, can you print some more money?" And they say yes or no. Usually yes, because that's what I don't know. They're addicted to it. The retard idiot fucks. They don't know what's going on, you guys. They really don't. Everybody thinks that, or not everyone, but a lot of people assume that the government is, made up of these nice, got suit and tie on and broad shoulders and square jaw, and I know what's going on in the world, man. And to disprove that, just go watch that recent video. I think it was a CNN interview or something like that, but it was the president of the Fed. The guy looks like he's jacked on cocaine. He looks like an insane person. And this is who's in charge of our money supply. He looks so off the like he looks like a speed freak, man. Like it looks like he's like on camera in this interview. He's like, yeah, we can print as much money as we need to. It's mind blowing. Like actually watch videos of these people that you assume are competent. Watch them in interviews. Read their emails if their emails get leaked. Like look at how they write. It's like they're dummies. They're power hungry dummies. They're really miserable people. That's how I feel. But basically, back to the point is even the same branch of government. So let's take the Fed as a branch of government. You have like different tracks and different programs going on, and like this is a great example of what goes on in this article. Is like they say stuff that completely contradicts what other programs are doing. Like right now, there's a digital dollar, and then there's going to be a blockchain dollar, and then there's also another track for a kind of XRP dollar, which will be built on top of the XRP, and then there's also a very small track which not a lot of research is going into, which will be like other blockchain backed, like a Bitcoin backed dollar, stuff like that. That probably won't happen. By the time we get to that point, by the time they try XRP backed dollars and that fails, they'll probably finally realize that the separation of government and currency works, and they'll probably admit that. I don't think that's going to happen until 2030, 2032 or somewhere around there. But yeah, let's continue this article by Alexander Behrens. Good writing, man. Thank you. Very cool. Members of the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services discussed making the U.S. Federal Reserve a bank of last resort for everyday Americans. In brief, a U.S. congressional committee hearing reviewed the idea to have the Federal Reserve provide bank accounts to unbanked Americans. So a bunch of assholes from the Fed are talking to a bunch of assholes in Congress and telling them that we have a new way to fuck over Americans, unbanked Americans specifically, the most vulnerable, the most vulnerable. It's all you can tell what goes on in people's heads that seek out positions of power if you just study history. You can tell that they're almost never good people. It's like go read a book, man, if you don't believe that. Um, Politicians are snakes. They always have been, and kings were even worse. So I don't know why we try to base our model of our politicians and representatives off of models of kings, like central powers and shit, like decentralize some stuff, shake some shit up. But like this, like unbanked Americans, right? Specifically, they specifically want to fuck over unbanked Americans. Uh, this reminds me of the Inquisition, man. In the Inquisition, these fucking deacons, these Catholic deacons that Catholics actually have the fucking audacity to say are like role models for education and shit. Like Saint Thomas Aquinas, that guy was a fucking monster. I'm not saying he wasn't smart, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't be looked up to for his intellect, because I actually do. I've read some of his stuff, and it's a different model than like today's intellectualism. It's not like hard science. And the debates are like structured differently. But his intellectual exercises are quite potent, I would say. Let me check the chat. You guys, anybody in here? No. So, like these deacons, like even though they're smart people, and Catholics are like, oh yeah, you should look at deacons and to know how to study hard. It's like no, you fucking shouldn't, man. That's like saying you like Hitler should be your role model for how to public speak. It's like yeah, he was a good public speaker, but look at the whole picture. Um, but these deacons, like St. Thomas Aquinas in the Inquisition, they're doing exactly what the Fed is doing right here. They're like, oh, yeah, we don't want to fuck with the elite. We just want to fuck with the unbanked Americans, the most vulnerable, the most vulnerable. So this goes back to like, this is people in power, this is where their heads are at. They want to torture people, okay? Literally, they want to torture you. Look at the Inquisition. Go read a book on it. These deacons that were witch hunters and holding these trials and inquisitions were not concerned about high magic, okay? Which high magic was supposedly magic that was being practiced by educated people, people that knew how to read, which the only people that really knew how to read at the time were priests. So it's like they're not concerned about um, going out and finding people that know how to read and people that are actually going to know how to legally defend themselves. They just want to go after peasants and people that were doing the low magic and people that were like giving the evil eye or like trying to steal the milk from their neighbor's cow with an incantation or whatever. And it's like this was the reality at the time. So this is how you have to speak about it. Is you have to speak about it um, subjectively. You know, like you have to put yourself in their shoes to really understand what's going on. And that's what they wanted. They just wanted to torture the most vulnerable people. They're like, this is what cops do today. Okay, this is what the Fed does. This is what governments do. This is what they've always done. This is what kings do. This is what the Catholics do. This is what their deacons did. Okay, moving on. Multiple proposals have been introduced in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic to speed up the delivery of stimulus money, including a digital dollar. This is also going to be a way for the Fed to basically reset their balance sheet with a new digital dollar. Like if you look at what just happened, I think it was Iran. They issued a new version of their currency, and this was like not a month ago, maybe like March or something like that, like towards the beginning of COVID. They issued a new currency that's basically 100% the same. It's the same model, the distribution's the same, the supply is controlled in the same fashions. The only difference is that it has less zeros. So they went from like a $40 million bill to a $40,000 bill or something like that, you know, as the like the predominant one. And that's basically what the digital dollar is going to do, whether people like it or not. I mean, it's unfortunate. And that'll basically like reset the entire. What that'll do for the Fed is why they want to do that is change the value of the digital dollar from the dollar right now. Is that'll basically allow them to restart their torture process, right? So like in the Inquisition, you survive two torture sessions, you're allegedly off the hook. And it's like if you survive two torture sessions and someone was convinced that you were actually a witch, they would be like, "Oh, you got off on a technicality because you survived two torture sessions." Still having foot cramps, you guys. Stand up for a moment. Oh wait, I don't gotta pause nothing. Just gotta make sure my wires don't run into shit. Okay. Getting a little ergo mat here and keep going. But yeah, what? So I don't know if I explained that idea very clearly. But yeah, like the reason that the motivation for the Fed to not just make the digital dollar a one-to-one with the dollar right now is that it will allow them to reset their cycle of inflating more value away from Americans' pocketbooks and into the pocketbooks of their friends and family, co-conspirators, co-Satan worshippers, whatever the hell it is those guys are actually doing. The Fed accounts. This is where it gets good, you guys. This article, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it through this. This is a good one. The Fed accounts would use U.S. post offices as branches for areas with few other options. Okay, let's not even touch on that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. How can digital tools be used to improve the delivery of federal stimulus payments related to the COVID-19 pandemic? That was the subject of a U.S. House Committee on Financial Services hearing today. But as it turned out, the solutions may have less to do with newfangled blockchain technology and digital dollars, and much more to do with the old-fashioned post office. It's like they want to go back in time at this point. What the fuck is going on? The hearing focused in particular on payments to the unbanked or those who don't have a bank account or regular relationship with a similar entity like a credit union. This is so crazy, you guys. This is so insane. I don't know if you've ever met someone who is unbanked, but it's like these people are so fucking vulnerable financially. They have no financial education. And this isn't like something that I'm blaming them on or anything. I had a roommate not too long ago who was actually completely unbanked and he did like everything with cash and I had to like sit down with him after I got to know him a little bit and like explain to him like, listen man, there's a credit union right up the road. Go get an account, get a card, and start participating in what our government refers to as modern finance, but what I refer to as 70s finance because it's all on the Swift network. We'll get into that in a second here. Yeah. So it's like they're openly admitting that they want to torture the most financially vulnerable people, the unbanked. Like this is what this is about, you guys. Following the introduction of the CARES Act, ironically named, to the US Congress in March, additional bills were introduced that included provisions for direct monthly payments to most US adults via deposits to a new type of basic bank account backed by the Federal Reserve known as Fed accounts. Fucking despicable. Congress had hearings in the late 80s on the problem of the unbanked, and here we are more than 3 decades later discussing the same issues. Vanderbilt University Law School professor Morgan Ricks told the committee, "Yeah, no fucking shit, Morgan. That's because you're using the same fucking technology that you've been using since the 1970s, actually, not the 80s. That's when that Swift network was started, and they haven't worked on it since the late 80s. They just tell developers to shove it and create a new library to do what it is they need to do." Moving on, we should applaud and celebrate private sector innovation and technology, but it shouldn't be an excuse for public policy stasis. Stasis. Fed accounts are a form of digital money on the books of the Fed. It's a compelling way to deal with the problem of the unbanked, which has been on the public policy agenda for decade after decade. Oh yeah, kind of like every other public policy matter that's been on the fucking agenda decade after decade. These guys have been talking about the same shit in these committees since the 50s, okay? Healthcare, immigration, how do we defend our nation? How do we it's the same shit. And I haven't even been alive for very long, and I will recognize this. If you're 40 and you actually trust your government, it's like you don't think about the world around you, okay? You just accept you're those people that we talked about earlier. You just accept whatever paradigm is slapped in front of you, and you don't want to go through you either don't have the mental capacity to go through the work, or you don't have the diligence and the desire to do it. I mean, you're just intellectually lazy. I don't know what's wrong with those kind of people. I mean those kind of people like at work or wherever, man. And it's like you just there's basically no hope for them in my view. Like you can tell them all kinds of shit. They won't go through the work, man. They won't go through the intellectual work, or they just don't have the capacity to do so. And like that's real. Like that's people are dumb, man. Like you gotta come to grips with that reality. It's like with Bitcoin, man. Like with the Fed, with everything that's going on right now, everything that we're talking about. Um, People aren't going to accept the reality that our current financial system is a complete illusion until they are forced to do so. Okay? People will not accept reality until they are forced to do so. Not everyone, but lots and lots of people. Um, I don't know, man. Lots of people are just dumb too. That's the other thing. It's not that they're lazy. They can't even think about it. Like, um, yeah. Like I know how much of an idiot I am. I know that I'm like I look at the decisions that I make on a daily basis and like uh you know it's very evident to me that I'm stupid. And most of the people that I meet in the world are even dumber than I am. So it's like yeah, I don't know. Like we're stupid. We're like monkeys running around using stuff that smart people have invented so we can seem like we're smart. Like I'm doing right now, like a live stream with on a computer. You think I know how to build a computer or anything? I mean, like even the development work that I do is all like I don't write libraries. I don't like write come up with new internet protocols or anything like that. Like I might get into blockchain and security soon, but it's mostly just JavaScript. At some point, public provisioning needs to be a part of the conversation. So yeah, they're talking about it just needs to go directly to the people from the Fed, which I agree with. But let's be honest here, it's the U.S. government. It's not going to go well. It's like the CARES Act, the Patriot Act. Like you can always tell who and how the government is trying to fuck someone over by whatever the fuck they name their act, because it's just the polar opposite of whatever the hell it's named. If you actually go and read the bills and read these giant binders, basically stuffed full of words. Sometimes local libraries will allow you to read them. Sometimes they have people that like that shit. That's what they do here anyway. I don't know if that's actually a common thing or not, but they like at their computer consoles, they have like an app that you pull up and it like pulls up different bills and has like cool notes in it and stuff and makes it really easy to digest. Anyway, continuing through this article, we're never going to get through all these news articles at this rate. We got to speed it up. Proposed legislation that include Fed accounts plan to use federal post offices banking locations, an idea founded by University of California Irving School of Law professor Mirsa Baradin's 2014 Harvard Law Review essay on the topic. Jeez. Professor Baradin was also in attendance as a witness at the congressional hearing. Well, let's hear what this bitch had to say. Postal banks are a natural ally to the Federal Reserve central banking system. And the reason is because they have the footprint in every community, regardless of cost. It's a very democratic institution, Baradaran said. You know, that's true. There's bank there's post offices in a good amount of towns and cities across America. You're right. Um, but I was thinking there's also uh what are those things called that are I think they're actually more common and more plentiful and more healthily distributed across the nation than post offices. What are the what? Oh yeah, fucking cell phones. I don't know. Computers? Anything? Come on, you guys. What are you talking about? What is this bitch talking about? You graduated from Harvard again. Well, not again, but like people that it's so funny when they bring in these people that have like written papers on this and they're from Harvard. It's like, okay, you went to Harvard. You're very, very good at doing exactly what you're told. That's the kind of person that goes to Harvard. That's the kind of person that becomes a lawyer. That's the kind of person that becomes a doctor. It's like, okay, you jumped onto a hard track and like ran through life with guardrails up, and you call yourself a success, and people buy it. They eat it up. Former chairman of okay, oh wait, no, Barrington had even more bullshit to say. This bitch. This is not a technology problem. Dude, Jack Dorsey told you motherfuckers that you should be just using an app to do this. He was like, we can use a Cash App. I won't even charge you for it. I just want to help make the world a better place. I'm Jack Dorsey. Like, I'm a good guy. I actually think he is. But like, he was telling him like, we can use the Cash App, man. Like, we can make this happen. And like, they don't get it, man. They're stuck in the 70s. They said the 80s, but it's really the 70s. That's when Swift started. The payment system is already there. So, no, it's not. Our Federal Reserve is probably the best payment system in the world, and we can make it even better. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like you have these communities, you have these. I guess this isn't actually Baradon isn't the like leader of the committee or something. She was just a witness. But it's really funny. Like you have stuff like this happen all the time, where it's like even people in the same branch of government are the leaders of different programs within the same branch are saying things that contradict everything that else is going on in that same branch. There's no There's no adhesion. There's no cross communication. There's no competence. I don't know what more words are. Let's keep going. Former chairman of the U.S. Commodities and Futures Trading Commission, Chris Giancarlo, I'm going to say it on top, also served as a witness at the hearing, emphasizing the importance of moving with purpose to develop a Fed-backed central bank digital currency, or CBDC, to compete with similar assets being rolled out in China. Yeah, guess what, you guys, you're a little late there. Also, if you want to compete with the ones that are being rolled out in China, why don't you actually look at what they're doing? They're using the phones. Giancarlo said that any digital dollar should function exactly the same as physical cash. So, what, shittily? With all the privacy and portability that entails. So actually, a good amount of privacy with cash. No portability, really. I mean, it's a piece of nasty germ-infested paper. He stressed that these features are an essential part of what makes the US dollar the world's standard reserve currency, and that if legislators fail to act, the country could lose much of its international clout, thank God, including the ability to effectively sanction target countries like North Korea or Iran. So if you guys don't know about the sanctions against North Korea and Iran, those are the only two countries without basically like a link to the Fed. They're the only two countries that do not recognize the United States dollar as the reserve currency. They're doing their own thing. Their separate banking system, and so everyone has to have sanctions against them because the Fed is a bitch and they don't like people not playing by their monopoly game. Not everyone is comfortable using the Federal Reserve as a banking institution for everyday citizens. However, yeah, there's a few of us. There are concerns that such a program could stifle innovation and create a conflict of interest for the Fed, which also distributes dollars used by private banking institutions. Committee members should be commended for focusing on financial inclusion, but Fed accounts and similar Fed coin proposals aren't a solution, said Jean Berlaud. Oh, that sounds like a French name. Berlaud said, who is a senior fellow at the Competitive Enterprise Institute. Where is this guy coming from? Why is he included in this? Was he also a witness? There's no context for who the fuck this guy is. Who? Okay, who wrote this article? I know I thanked him at the beginning. Alexander, who is this guy? Why is he in the end of the article? Committee members should be commended. Blah blah blah. Blah. Okay. The Fed's power and lack of accountability could crowd out private sector innovation in cryptocurrency and payments technology that could become a game changer to improve financial inclusion. The Fed should let the crypto sector innovate and stay out of the way. Somehow, I don't think that's going to happen for at least another 10 years. But I guess we can be hopeful. Let's look up who this guy is real quick. I didn't actually get to that part in the article when I was reading it myself. I just saw those bullet points. I was like, oh, this is gonna be hell fucking hilarious. An American economist who lives in Washington, D.C. and is the director for the Center of Investors and Entrepreneurs at the Competitive Enterprise Institute, a free market think tank. What is it? What even is a think tank? How do they make money? It's like those mortgage guys, you know? It's like I remember talking to those guys one time. I was like, wait, are you guys a bank? Like, how do you actually make money? You just connect banks and houses to people? Like, okay. Moving on. Chuck E. Cheese on the brink of bankruptcy, report says. So you guys, you might be asking yourself, like, why is this in a technology channel podcast? I think that this is kind of a sign of a change at times. Let's just say, and I'm not going to read this whole article, but it says they got $200 million in loans they got to secure. They're $1 billion in debt. They're filing Chapter 11. Oh gosh. Oh no. So yeah, Chuck E. Cheese is not doing good. And it's like, why is Chuck E. Cheese even trying at this point to do what they're doing? They should know that they're going to fail. They should see that they're this much in debt and that they have this much 1.9 million due for rent at the end of every month. Um, so yeah, um, it doesn't make sense. I think that maybe one model that we're going to be looking at in the future is going to be like a digital Chuck E. Cheese. There's actually this game that came out. I forget what it's called. Maybe we can try to find it. It's the reason I typed Google into the address bar is because DuckDuckGo is my default browser. So don't fucking hate on me. Um, it's like a VR arcade game or something like that. VR arcade, and you travel to different arcades like on a party bus, and then is this it? Retro Arcade Neon? No, I don't know. I remember watching like XQC or something, one of those streamer guys on Twitch stream it, and it looked pretty cool. It was like you do one arcade and you play all the games there, and you go to like a different one, and that one will have like a different like gimmick. Like maybe one of them had like go-karts and stuff like that, but it's all in VR. And VR right now is absolutely in its infancy. I know people are really, really, really amazed by it, and I think there's some cool stuff going on too. I have tried out some modern VR headsets, and it's very, very cool. But it's absolutely in its infancy. And we look at when I look at an article like this about Chuck E. Cheese going under, and I think about these VR virtual arcades and how Chuck E. Cheese should have seen this coming and been paying attention to what kids are actually spending their time doing and what actually compels them and entertains them. Like, when was the last time a Chuck E. Cheese executive, like the CTO, went into like a Chuck E. Cheese? Probably would have seen kids playing games on their parents' phones and stuff and been like, maybe we could make a Chuck E. Cheese apparcade or something. Like, geez, man, it's like I don't know. It's like people don't even try anymore with their businesses. They're just like, oh, we're old. Moving on. Denver School Board votes unanimously to remove police from public schools. Probably a good idea. I don't know why people would ever put police in public schools. It's such a crazy idea to me. They did this some in North Carolina, where I'm from, like in the public schools there. I had some friends that would go to the public high school, and like they would tell me like, oh yeah, there's cops and like metal detectors and stuff. And immediately to anyone that has a brain, it's like, oh, you're training people to be involved in the prison system. It's like get them in trouble now and get them used to dealing with this shit. Look, they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for the police to be in schools. This makes no sense to me, you guys. This makes absolutely no sense to me. There's a lot of stuff going on with the police right now, obviously, in this country. Um, this guy in the Breonna Taylor case was under investigation for sexual assault, or is under investigation for sexual assault. This is the guy that killed his bitch in her sleep, dude. Like, she was not doing anything wrong. Everyone that says that this was like every time the police kill someone, there's always someone that's like, "Oh, we didn't see the whole video." It's like, ain't gonna happen. Like, dude, she was asleep in her house. So, yeah, I don't know. Fuck this guy. Let's read this article a little bit more. One of the three Louisville officers who opened fire on Breonna Taylor's home in March, killing the unarmed EMT, is under investigation for sexual assault after multiple women have come forward with allegations against him. Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher on Thursday announced a broad investigation into the allegations against Detective Brett Hankinson. We'll call him Detective Prickerson. Now we are also investigating this matter jointly under the auspices. Oh shit! Gotta get better at pronouncing words if I'm gonna do this. Of the Kentucky Public Corruption / Civil Rights Task Force, which consists of the FBI, Louisville Metro Police Department, and Kentucky State Police, and the Kentucky Attorney General's Office. Fisher said in a statement. Fisher also said that written to he has also written to the River City Fraternal Order Police and demanded that Hankinson be removed from his post on the Louisville Police Merit Board. The board, which reviews disciplinary appeals of police officers, consists of 5 civilians appointed by the mayor and 2 police officers elected by the FOP. So it's like, oh great, the guy, like it's the leader of the board of the cops is a fucking rapist. Like surprise, surprise. It's almost like the people, like the higher you go in these pyramid power structures, the more fucked up the people get towards the top there. Really interesting stuff. This is terrible, you guys. The state of this country is just fucking shit, dude. It's I love this country so much. I hate our government so much, man. Oh, sale times. Let's do a live exercise and see if we can bypass this without using a what's it called? Incognito window. Bang. Give me some more room here to see this finish. Do some live CSS for you guys if we can. So we're targeting this. Oh fuck! I'm in. Shit! I'm in fucking Firefox. Display none. Okay, so first we just got rid of that thing with that rule, and now we need to get rid of this this overlay, which is blurring and darkening the article. Let's go right here. Z index. So this is the drawbridge user messaging overlay. So we can just maybe reduce the Z index to 0 or negative 9,000. That seemed to do it. Okay. That's the blur, or I mean that's the darkening. Where's the blur? Opacity, 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 opacity. Click, click. Hmm. Where is this coming from? It's gotta be somewhere in here. Oh, it was right here. Okay, so you see the background right here? The background property, RGBA. So usually it's just the three colors, but then if you do the A, you can include a fourth option, and that's your blur. So bang. Oh, there's another blur layer, it looks like. Hmm. Hmm. Dang, we might just have to use an incognito window. I can kind of read it if I squint. Oh, I can't scroll. Why can't I scroll? Because position fixed. Nope. Usually it's a higher order component that is in charge of scrolling. But I'm not gonna waste too much time here digging around and trying to fucking find out. Oh, we got filter. Oh, look at that. Clear. So now I just need to find out the scrolling. I forget the name of the property off the top of my head, but I know that when I see it, I'll recognize it. Body. Um. Oh, fixed. Easy, dude. Hey, fuck you, Seattle Times. Thousands march in Seattle in silence to show support of Black lives. Way to go, Seattle. If you guys don't know what's going on in Seattle right now, it's actually a little bit different than what's going on in most other major American cities. In Seattle, there are people that have basically taken over a small section of their downtown. I think it's like 6 or 7 or maybe even 10 blocks now. But they basically have evacuated all um, police or any other armed government workers from that area. Dude, if you guys have never tried xylitol gum, I like this brand on Amazon. Super cheap for like a giant box of it. Really, really good for your teeth. No sugar. It just has xylitol in it, which is really, really, really good for your what's it called? Your mouth flora, right? Your bacteria in your mouth. They really like that shit. The good ones, not the I farted, did you hear it? The good bacteria in your mouth, not the ones that cause cavities and stuff. But yeah, in Seattle, you guys, it's pretty nutty. They have taken over a few small sections of the downtown, and they've said no police are allowed in here. And there's like pe people that are open carrying and just doing like their own little patrols and making sure that the cops don't get in there. I don't know about you. I don't know how this is going to turn out. Should be very interesting though. In my opinion, we'll either see like a siege situation. They'll just like set up barricades around this whole section and just wait until the people starve themselves out, or they'll just run in there with superior firepower and kill all these citizens. Either one wouldn't be surprised. What would be a surprise is if it resounds without injury or without suffering. I don't think that's going to happen. I really have no faith in Washington state government or our federal government to resolve this without violence or some kind of standoff, barricade, siege situation that's just going to make it not look too hot. Um, oh, but yeah, man. The reason I picked out this article specifically is the in silence part. You should go check out a videos of this on YouTube. There's plenty. Just Silent March Seattle. This is, I think, what we should. I hope this catches on because it's very eerie. It's just people walking through the street, totally quiet. Some of them have their signs or their tape over their mouths, things like that. And yeah, it's very, very eerie, very effective in my opinion. to let people know that like, hey, we don't like being shot by the people that we pay their salaries to. What do we pay their salaries for again? To pull people over and shoot them and or collect revenue for their police club from them. Oh wait, no. We pay them to shoot your dog after your house gets robbed. That's right. Totally forgot about that awesome benefit of our United States police officers. I just wish it would all just go to sheriffs, man. Like local PDs should be outlawed. They shouldn't just be defunded. They should be completely fucking outlawed. Like this is just common sense to me, man. Like usually sheriffs, this isn't always the case. I've met some really fucking asshole sheriff deputies. Just talking to him in public because usually I like to talk to like if you have like a sheriff uniform on or like the like sheriff like plate carrier on, says the sheriff sticker on it. Like I usually like to talk to those guys because they're usually actually really cool. They're usually people that have lived in the area that they're working for their entire lives, and they actually just like wanna make sure that people are safe and protected. But there's some asshole sheriffs out there, of course, too. But that just makes so much more sense to me. Just control it by county. Like, if you need more police presence in a specific area, like a downtown, which is why PDs got started, just start another sheriff branch in the downtown and hire more sheriff deputies. Like, it'll have the same structure and the same oversight and the same um, lack of police unions, really, is the main point. But yeah, I think that like that's a good way forward for us right now. I don't know how well it's going to work. I think that there's probably a lot of challenges that come with that I don't know because I'm not a local logistics guy, but this is just not working out, man. I don't know. Like the area that I live in is very privileged, I would say. Lake Oswego, and there's been like some protests here, but it seems like it's all mostly middle schoolers and high schoolers, maybe some young college kids. And so there's not really enough protests here going on. So if you're in Portland and you're watching this, please come to Lake as we go and protest. Please come and like help drive the conversation to the people that actually need to be a part of the conversation and not just woke high schoolers. Nothing against woke high schoolers are welcome to be a part of the conversation, but it's like you already get it. We need to go talk to your parents or that kind of thing. I don't know. Like I've been thinking about maybe like getting like a projector like that I can wear on my body and then like go walk to like some of the like main foot traffic areas of the city and like project like all those compilation videos of cops doing horrible things to people, even just like, and then put like a caption at the top says like, all this happened in the last week, and just get a new one of those every week and go broadcast it everywhere. You probably have like 15 minutes of footage every week at least, even if you just did like quick takes. Last one here, you guys. We're not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna do a video in a video, but this is a cool video if you want something nice to watch. Gun owners pleased as Italy relaxes ugh, ugh, law on right to self-defense. So basically, what Italy did, you guys, their policy change is that they went from their defense law, especially when it comes to firearms, saying that you need to have like without a doubt or somewhat provable, basically you need to be able to prove that your life was in imminent danger in order to defend yourself, right? And so now they changed it to you only need to be able to prove that you were in a state of confusion or haste or worry when you use your firearm, which I think is amazing. I think that's perfect because, like, yeah, obviously we're talking about violent situations here. These aren't who's outside. Oh, it's somebody walking their dog. Okay, it's it's violent situations that, and it's not soldiers that we're talking about in these situations. We're talking about citizens. So this makes sense to me, and it's like once the situation's over, like, and you figure it out in court, it's like that's where the actual like facts come out, and people are able to express what was actually happening. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me that it's like you allow your citizens to have guns for defense, and then you have all these crazy laws, like especially in the states, it's different state by state. Even some states, like within cities, there's different laws, about when you can use your firearm. It's I don't know. It's really weird. I'm not saying you should be able to just shoot anyone, obviously, but like if someone breaks into your house, that's what the main point of the law in Italy was, is like If someone breaks into your house, they don't have to be threatening your life for you to shoot them. Makes sense. If somebody breaks into my house, I'm not gonna wait for them to hold a knife to my throat to pull a trigger. Um, you know, because at that point it's too late. Like that. This is the whole point of a ranged weapons. You can engage a target at range. So this makes a lot of sense. I watched this video and I immediately went to LinkedIn and applied to like 20 jobs in Italy for different developer positions. They were all in Italian, and it's like I know Spanish decently, so I can read Italian all right. I can get the gist of a sentence, and listening to it kind of the same. But yeah, if I want to work there, like got a visa for 6 months or something, I think I could pick it up. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about today, you guys. We're at almost an hour. Why does it say, okay, in my stream, it says we're at 55 minutes, but then it says 55 out of 130. Does that mean I'm limited to 130? You bastards, YouTube. What are you doing to me? Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to talk about. The weather looks pretty nice today, so I think I'm gonna check out the forecast, and if it looks good, take some paint outside and do some painting. I hope everyone has a good day. I don't know how to end a stream. Um, I need some kind of cool closing animation. Might be a Fiverr thing. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Later.